Well, league leaders Arsenal take the long trip up north where Sunderland await them. What a season they've been having under Regis Lebris. They're fifth in the table. Arsenal are 6 points ahead of Manchester City, who will play Liverpool tomorrow. Arsenal have an opportunity to really pull clear here. It's a tough game here away to Granit Xhaka's Sunderland as Arsenal continue their fantastic form both domestically and in Europe. Well, we're off and running for the start of kickoff here. Sunderland, after that brilliant result against Chelsea, now looking to continue their fine form to life back in the Premier League after a long hiatus. They do really look like a solid outfit, don't they? Going with the back five today, Regis Lebris, and I don't really blame him against Arsenal and Arteta, who have been irresistible. They have been shutting out teams with so much ease. Forget clean sheets, they barely let opposition players register shots on target. We'll see how the back five affects Sunderland, especially when they do have the ball. They'll try and make the pitch as wide as possible with the two in midfield in Sadiki and Xhaka looking to control proceedings against Arsenal. Here's Ballard, the centre half. We immediately long for Bertrand Traore, who will be up against Ricardo Calafiori on that side. Well, Regis Lebris, absolutely brilliant. I mean, a lot of teams might have had Sunderland struggling at the bottom, but after some smart investment and then the performances on the pitch reflecting the team, they can be so proud of the way that they've gone about the business. Points here would be massive for Sunderland. The crowd will be up for it, make no mistake about it. As some of the new summer signings, as the one who has the ball in hand, Nodi Mukiele, will take the throw in here to put Arsenal under pressure immediately here, trying to beat them in their own game with set pieces. 6 points ahead of Manchester City. Arsenal here. A win will take them 9 clear, with City playing Liverpool tomorrow. So almost feels like if Arsenal win and the results go in their favour tomorrow, it just might be one hand on the trophy as early as game week 11. Well, the Arsenal fans, I know, they'll definitely be urging for calm. They've seen this movie before where they're top of the league till maybe Jan, Feb, even March, but seen it slip away far too late for their liking. This time, they're hoping things will be different here. Mukiele with the throw into the box. It's really crowded there. Saliba heads away. Saka loses out to Geertruida. Here's Declan Rice with a crunching challenge. Timber should get away with that, but instead it's Enzo Lefi. Oh, what a challenge that is from Timber. It's brilliant play this blow by Sunderland. Here's the Frenchman, Enzo Lefi. Again, he's up against one of the best 1v1 defenders in the league in Jurrien Timber. It'll be a tough outing for all the Sunderland players, but from Arsenal's point of view, they'll want to quieten the crowd as quickly as possible and get into their rhythm. Mukiele comes all the way across to the other side to take the throw in now. 3 minutes on the clock. It's been set pieces so far. Can Mukiele's throw have a bit more venom on it? He gets good height and distance. The flick on header is won by Arsenal, and Declan Rice has an outstanding first touch. Tries to get Arsenal forward here. Here's Trossard, who's once again blossoming after his improved contract deals in the summer. A lot of the Arsenal fans and fans around the world were probably looking at that decision with questionable decision making, but the way that it's panned out shows that Trossard is really scoring some big goals and contributing heavily here. Here's Mikel Merino, who's playing the auxiliary centre forward today. No Gyökeres, no Havertz, and no Gabriel Jesus means Mikel Merino, who did more than well in this position last season when the emergency was called up. Remember, Merino scored against Real Madrid in the Champions League in the 3-0 victory at home. Away from home, he was quite the class centre forward, wasn't he? He gets the ball to stick to him, and he's got some excellent first-time finishes in his locker. So the Sunderland defenders, Geertruida, Mukiele and Ballard, will have to be on their best game here. Arsenal now have an opportunity with the throw-in. We've seen Declan Rice in charge of all the set pieces. Some of his corners have been absolutely sensational this season for Gabriel Magalhaes to attack. Well, the usual suspects are in the box. Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes and Mikel Merino all awaiting this Declan Rice throw in here. You know about his ball striking, but Declan Rice has got quite the shoulders to chuck this one in. Just got that towards the near post. It's headed away. It's back to Rice. Good first touch. The cross is pretty poor, and Sunderland can get out of trouble here. Enzo Lafi. Yetuida goes long. Isidore. Brilliant touch there from the Frenchman. He absolutely ragdolls Rice and then tries to let Bertrand Traore forward. Good defending there by Calafiori. Made sure that the Burkina Faso international didn't have enough space and time to run at. But that's great play there from Wilson Isidore. Scored against Chelsea at the Bridge. Can he add another big goal to his tally this season? Here's Saliba. Beautiful switch out there, but well defended by Hume. Here's Trossard though. Ebreze. Lays it off nicely. Did score that goal against Crystal Palace. Ball into the box. It's a brilliant header by Ballard. It was Mikel Merino who was attacking that one. He's got absolutely clattered there. Good ball into the box. You know that Mikel Merino is looking to attack that near post. He's got a whack to the side of the head. That's going to be a sore one for the Spanish centre forward. It's weird calling him a centre forward, but that's his position today. You can see Ballard just leading with his elbow. You can see why it was a painful one for Mikel Merino here. Sunderland have to make sure that they don't concede anything sloppy early on. No penalties, no needless corners against Arsenal. It seems Ballard might be the centre back today with Mukiele and Geertruida on either side. Well, the last thing Arteta can afford here is an injury to Mikel Merino because he's running out of centre forward options. Maybe after the international break we might see Gyökeres and Havertz back. Gabriel Jesus, still no idea on his timeline of recovery. Well, the early start has seen Mikel Merino needing a bit of concussion protocol. It's an elbow to the side of the head. It's a very painful one. Arteta just having a look, making sure that the I's are all dotted and the T's are crossed before he gets back onto his feet here. Well, after Arsenal watched their North London rivals Tottenham Hotspur draw very, very late on against Manchester United, 2-2 the match ended after Matthijs de Ligt scored in the 96th minute, literally the last minute of stoppage time. His powerful header beat Vicario from close range. And the spoils were shared in what was a crazy game really. The first half was lackluster to say the least. The second half was following suit, but it was the late show from both teams. Matthias Tel and Richarlison both scoring for Tottenham Hotspur as De Ligt rose the highest in the 96th minute. Xhaka against his former club. Talk to me about Granit Xhaka, Arsenal fans. I mean, from 2016 to 2020, he drew so many different opinions from both the fans within and the football fans outside. You all know about his quality, his ability to ping passes, his ball striking, and how intelligently he picks up positions. But he was also involved in some rash moments, rash challenges, and just loss of head at critical moments for Arsenal during Arteta's tenure. But under Sunderland, I mean, you talk about one man's impact on a club. You're looking at Granit Xhaka right on top of the list. Talk about brilliant business, going to the Bundesliga champions. I mean, not last season, but the year before. Still going to Leverkusen as Sunderland. Slapping the money on the table, having the confidence knowing that Granit Xhaka is tailor-made for the situation. And the higher-ups and the coach could not have gotten this decision any more spot on here. Well, the two Hale End graduates Max Dowman and Ethan Wanyeri both warming up here. Talked about Arsenal's lack of centre-forward options without Havertz and Gyökeres, and if Mikel Merino is not able to continue, one of the young'uns might have to step in here. Seems that Merino's back on his feet, looks okay, healthy, and ready to carry on. Good news for Arsenal fans. Into the 10th minute, seen very little football so far. It's been a couple of throw-ins being exchanged by both teams in the early stages. Zubimendi and Xhaka in discussion there. Feels like a win for Arsenal here would extend the lead to 9 points ahead of Manchester City facing Liverpool tomorrow. Just shows you this could be a seismic result for the Gunners if they get all 3 points. Here's Gabriel Magalhaes, who's been one of Arsenal's standout players this season, not just defensively, but the way that he is such a threat in the opposition box with set pieces. You cannot understate how important he is to the team. Here's the Brazilian. Clip pass towards Trossard, asking a lot from the Belgian. I'll just go out for a throw-in for Sunderland as Mikel Merino joins the fray once again. Just over 10 minutes on the clock. They would have gone through all the protocols to make sure that he's okay to carry on. Mikel Merino scored some big goals last season as he looks to carry on and help Arsenal and Arteta in this tricky time without a recognised centre-forward. Zubimendi's header, but there was a foul there. Granit Xhaka is just constantly orchestrating proceedings here. He's making sure that his team are switched on. Points against his former club will be absolutely massive for Sunderland. 3 at the bridge. If they can get at least a point here, that is some return. We talked about how the top of the table or the first 10 positions are very much interchangeable. After the Saturday today, Chelsea, of course, host Wolves. The match after this, a triple header on Saturday. That will be a stressful game for me. I mean, it is never straightforward with Chelsea, especially at home this season where we have dropped some needless points. A loss to Brighton, a loss to Sunderland, to save very few, and a draw against Crystal Palace. It just shows you that Chelsea's home form has been all over the shop this season. So Wolves, even though they don't have a manager, I think they've got Rob Edwards from... I think it is Rob Edwards from Middlesbrough who's going to be coming in. That hasn't been official yet, but we will get more clarity after the international break. That's a clever lifted pass here for Jurrien Timber on the right-hand side. Here's Mikel Merino. Saliba. Again, both centre-halves on the halfway line immediately. Just shows you how attacking Arsenal are. Ebre Eze looks for the floater behind the defensive line. Easily into the hands of Robin Roos. Here's Sadiki. Finds Ronaldo. He's lost his balance. Quickly recovers. Sadiki under pressure. Ebre Eze is just hounding him there. No space whatsoever. Looks to just clear that. Instead, he's put that in a very dangerous area. Zubimendi picks it up. Zubimendi. Saka lets it go for Eze. Ball into the box. Headed away by Ballard. Here's Zubimendi again. Arsenal like a boa constrictor here. All around Sunderland in the early stages. Saka. Timber. Here's Saliba. Thought about the cross. Gabriel Magalhaes finds Ricardo Calafiori. He's been the first choice left back all season now that his fitness issues have been resolved, which means that Piero Hincapié and Miles Lewis-Kelly will have to wait for their opportunities. Trossard fakes and then crosses in. Well defended. Isidore trying to get there first. Might be a foul there by the French striker. It is. It's on Gabriel Magalhaes. It's accidental as he goes to try and control the ball. He misses out, makes contact with the centre half. That's a foul. Unfortunately for him, yep, he's got his eyes on the ball, but having made no contact with the ball and only on the player, has to be given a foul, and it's right in front of the referee too. It's a free kick in a promising situation here for Arsenal into the 15th minute. Isidore will feel a bit hard done there. Granit Xhaka quickly asking Isidore to get on with it. There's no point arguing the decision when it's already been given. Xhaka doing the right thing here. Robin Roves making sure that his wall is perfectly stationed here. Well, Declan Rice has been on top of all the set pieces for Arsenal this season. Will he let this free kick go for Ebre Eze? We'll wait and see, but I think Rice will definitely fancy his chances here. He's got the technique. He gets the whip on it. If he gets it over the wall, they could be in business here. Eze has stepped away, which means Declan Rice, the undisputed man behind the ball here for Arsenal's first real set-piece opportunity with 15 minutes on the clock. It's Declan Rice sizing up the wall. He's eyeing the near post. Does he go for it? It's Declan Rice. It's punched away by Roves. Anywhere will do, but he's got that out for a throw-in. Had that on target. Not enough whip or height to really trouble the Dutch goalkeeper there. Nice free kick, but comfortable height for the Dutch goalie. Yeah, the entire wall doesn't jump, and that really does infuriate a coach. When you just see one of the three players in the wall jumping, you pretty much want all of them to jump to make sure it becomes as difficult as possible. As Rice goes with the throw in, the flick on headers one, and it's cleared away. Arsenal showcasing their variety in set pieces here. Well, Declan Rice's arm has already been tested a couple of times. Decide to keep it short here with the throw in though. Well, Arsenal have conceded 3 goals in the Premier League all season. It's been the Dominic Szoboszlai free kick, Erling Haaland in open play at Etihad, and at St. James's Park, I want to say it was Nick Woltemade who scored. Just the 3 goal scorers in 10 games for Arsenal. Their defensive solidity is no joke. They really are after my beloved Chelsea's record of 15 goals conceded over the course of a season in 2004-2005. Throw in for Timber to Saka. It's closed down quickly by Sadiki. It's a corner for Arsenal. No, Sadiki had to make sure that he got there first ahead of Saka. Another set-piece situation. Arsenal is starting to crank up the pressure here. You can see the danger man, Gabriel, as the camera pans to him. I want to see how Sunderland defend this. Where's the blocker on him? Are they going to put the tallest man on him as common sense should dictate? Again, he's got a free run. Nobody 5 yards away from Gabriel Magalhaes. This does not make much sense. If he does score, I would not be surprised. Saka takes it short though. Eze on his left foot. Lays it off. Declan Rice takes a touch. Goes for a goal. Doesn't have the venom on it. It's easily cleared. Again, when you have Gabriel and Saliba in the box, you have to whip it in with pace. Saka decided to go for the short one instead. Calafiori with the throw-in. Arsenal have dominated possession here at the Stadium of Light. Fully expected them to do so. Here's Timber. Saka gives Ronaldo the slip, but the foul clearly on the Arsenal captain. As soon as Saka has the ball, you can see the defense have to be switched on. He's such a danger when he turns and faces goal. He's got the whole array of weapons available for him. So, right move there from Ronaldo, just making sure that Saka knows that every time he does turn with the ball, it might be a challenge that awaits him. Here's William Saliba, Declan Rice, Zubimendi. Now Timber. Clip forward to Saka. Brilliant take away from Geertruida. Look at where Calafiori is, bursting centrally. Here's Enzo Lafay. Again, Sadiki helps out in a tight corner here. Here's Ballard. Finds Geertruida. Came on as a sub against Chelsea. Looked pretty good when he did, as Ballard looks for options. And Arsenal continuing their clean sheet record both domestically and in Europe. Slavia Prague were not going to score against them, were they? 3-0 victors on the night for Arsenal heading into this game. Sunderland, of course, a full week's rest before this game, so might be a touch fitter. But we all know about Arsenal's physical capacity over the course of 90 minutes. They are relentless. Even if they start off first half slowly, They often do manage to find a goal, and they know as a team that if we score a goal, it's pretty much curtains for the rest of the match. Here's Geertruida, finds Ballard. Clip pass into the area there. Good header there from Bertrand Traore. Xhaka heads it down to Isidore. This is excellent football here from Sunderland. It's Bertrand Traore. Oh, he loses his balance at such a critical moment, unfortunately, from Sunderland's point of view. Here's Declan Rice away from Xhaka. Good closing down there from Sunderland, making sure that they're hurrying and harrying the Arsenal players in possession. Beautiful pick out there from Isidore. He just floats that into the channel. It's a nice ball. Here's Timber. 20 minutes on the clock. 0-0 at the Stadium of Light. Point here will see Sunderland in third position, with City playing Liverpool tomorrow. Chelsea, of course, later on we are playing Wolverhampton Wanderers at Stamford Bridge. A triple header on Super Saturday. We'll be covering that game as well. Won't be a comfortable watch, that's for sure. Here's Zubimendi. Again, good play this from Sunderland. You can see their 5-4-1 shape off the ball, forcing Arsenal to almost use the width there. And Arsenal are not known to panic. Here's Zubimendi. And great work here. You can see Isidore's, Enzo Laffi and Bertrand Traore helping out very well. Here's Zubimendi. Urian Timber looking to combine with Ebreze. Of course, scored that fantastic goal against his former club on the half volley. Ebreze, the tight game against Crystal Palace. Here's Gabriel Magalhaes. Zubimendi. Arsenal dominating territory and possession here. Saka immediately trying to be doubled here, but he lays it off to Timber. Merino, clever, but Enzo Laffi is working tremendously hard here. Geertruida gets away from trouble. Nice drop of the shoulder from the Dutch defender who's on loan on Sunderland this season. The way that he's played, Sunderland will be hoping to make that a permanent deal come summertime. Here's Ballard. Oh, it's a poor pass. Arsenal pinched the ball high up the pitch here, and Merino's tried the quick pass for Declan Rice. Robin Roves makes sure that he's quickly onto the scene here. Nearly halfway through the first half. Neither keeper have been troubled so far. And you can see Nodi Mukiele being put under a lot of pressure there. Three centre-halves trying to make the pitch as wide as possible to push the wing-backs forward. Trey Hume and Renildo will be in charge of providing the width to really hug the touchline and stretch Arsenal as much as possible. Xhaka trying to work it in a tight space. Leandro Trossard does well. Here's Zubimendi. William Saliba striding forward. Here's Calafiori. He's also in a central position now. Declan Rice. He's got a lot of space to pick a pass here. Said it's Trossard. Rice. Ball into the box. Decent ball in. Headed away by Ballard brilliantly. Enzo Laffi. Oh, he's given the ball away. It's Ebreze. And the left-footed curler just over the crossbar. That all came from Sunderland losing the ball in absolute criminal territory there from Enzo Laffi, who did very well to get the ball, but this is far too casual from him. He's gone for the clever pass. Instead, it's right in front of goal for Ebreze, and fortunately from Sunderland's point of view, it fell to his left foot. That cannot happen from Sunderland's point of view. Having kept Arsenal at bay in the first half so far, cannot give them any sort of gifts. Robin Roves, the goalkeeper, goes for distance. He does get that well. There's Isidore versus William Saliba, the two French players battling there. Isidore somehow comes away with the ball. That's an outstanding touch there from Noah Sadiki. Kills the ball dead as Geertruida finds Ballard. And driving forward, you can see Granit Xhaka just trying to be unmarked here and try and pick up some sort of space where an Arsenal player isn't there. Here he is between the centre halves, Granit Xhaka. Here's Geertruida. Enzo Lafy. Back to the Dutch defender. Playing confidently here, Sunderland. They've rode the early wave here, making sure that they don't concede early. As I mentioned before, if Arsenal score first, almost feels like it's curtains. Rovs goes long. Decent header there from Ronaldo. Goes away from it. Siddiqui has won the second ball, but the foul goes against Sunderland. Jurrien Timber was strong on that occasion. Ronaldo from left wing back just made that run forward. Both players had eyes only for the ball. A mild collision there. Could have been a whole lot more nastier, but both players thankfully okay. 25 minutes on the clock. 0-0 here at the Stadium of Light. Here's David Raya. Decides to bypass the midfield and go all the way back. Goes for a long punt forward straight in the hands of Robin Rovs. Here's Geertruida. Finds Reinildo. Here's Enzo Lafy. Sunderland in the opposition box. Trying to feed that forward there. You can see what Enzo Lafy was trying to do there, but Wilson Isidore had made a different run. More centrally rather than in the half space. Here's David Raya. Plays a 1-2 with William Saliba. Arsenal looking comfortable in possession as expected. Ooh, really inviting the press here, Arsenal. Gabriel decides to go long. Strange decision that. Ooh, it's a risky touch there from Mukiele, and he's got robbed off the ball there by Mikel Merino. Here's Bukayo Saka. He's immediately closed down. Good defending there from Sunderland. And Jurrien Timber, by the looks of it, has committed a foul. Just trying to run away with the ball. Instead, he just might have just stamped on the boot of Enzo Lafy. You can see that as soon as Saka got the ball, it was immediately closed down. Oh, that's a sore one for Enzo Lafy, as Jurrien Timber, looking to secure possession, might have come through with a lot more force. Painful, very painful. Well, Arteta couldn't believe that the foul was given, but if he has a look at it back, he'll know that foul was rightfully given. Well, Sunderland are ticking the box here in the first half, keeping it tight, making sure that Arsenal don't have it their own way here in this first half. They're going to have to work tremendously hard. Just shows you that there are no freebies, no gimmies in the Premier League, especially this season where you see teams are really leveling up. Okay, Robin Rovs might just pick up a yellow card if he keeps time wasting here. It's far too early to waste time. Rovs does get away with it and goes long. Isidore wins the first header. Zubimendi clears. Saka winning the duel against Ronaldo. Siddiqui loses out. Here's Ebreze. He's surrounded by 3 Sunderland players. Again, allowing the ball to bounce. Timber has taken a risk there. It's a head injury, but the play continues. Isidore just goes wide. The first real opportunity. It falls to the right man as well. Wilson Isidore on his left foot. Tight angle. But that was the first shot that we have seen from either team so far. That all came from Sunderland, winning the second and third ball, keeping the ball alive. Jurrien Timber and Enzo Lafy both challenging for the ball. Good pass into the channel. Isidore battling Saliba. Gets away from the Frenchman. But that left-footed effort had to be really special if he has to squeeze that in towards the far stick there. Well, the Sunderland fans will be enthused. What a return back to the Premier League it's been for them. As it stands, there's been just the one shot on target that has been from Arsenal. Again, Jurrien Timber has been on quite a few duels already. Enzo Lafy looks like he's okay too. Arsenal just lacking a bit of cutting edge in the final third. Yes, no recognized centre forward. Absolutely a mitigating factor in this match. But Mikel Merino has played there for a lot last season. Almost feels like he is one of the go-to centre forwards for Mikel Arteta. I think Jurrien Timber is okay here. Should be okay to continue. Might need a bit of patchwork. We saw early on that Manchester United and Spurs played out a 2-2 draw. It wasn't as entertaining as the scoreline suggested. The first half was some of the worst football that you'll possibly see this season. United were 1-0 up at the break, courtesy of Brian Mbeumo. It was a late show by Spurs, with Matthias Tel and Richarlison scoring in the 91st minute. Took off his top. He was so excited that he thought he gave his team all 3 points. But Matthias de Ligt, in the 96th minute, snatched 2 points away from Spurs and Thomas Frank. The Spurs and Manchester United dead level after match week 11. Spurs with a superior goal difference. Of course, we saw Everton with a 2-0 victory against Fulham, and West Ham beating Burnley 3-2 in that early relegation 6-pointer. Big victory for Nuno Espirito Santos. Well, Regis Lebris will be very happy with the way the first 30 minutes have panned out here. Need a bit more of a goal threat. As soon as you enter the Arsenal box, it just feels like an achievement has been unlocked. Well, Timber being strapped there, make sure that his head injury does not get any worse. He's had a few incidents already. Committed a foul on Enzo Laffi, and then both the players with the clash of heads. Well, Timber's not going to come off that easily for Arsenal, who of course have Ben White if Timber cannot continue. Amount of depth Arsenal have in their defense is absolutely ridiculous, man. You see the likes of Christian Mosquera, Piero Hincapié both warming up. They could easily start in the top half of the league. Even, I think they would start for Chelsea comfortably. If you're looking at centre halves, you're just looking at the quality that they have in their bench. And after that lengthy stoppage, back underway with the action here. Arsenal looking to register something meaningful before the end of the first half. Just the one shot on target so far. But their corners have been well dealt with Sunderland. David Raya decides to go long here. Gets good distance. Trossard trying to win that. Immediately closed down. Good play this from Sunderland. I think the way that they're negating Arsenal's strengths has been very impressive to see. Isidore, lovely knockdown. When you have a striker like Wilson Isidore, he's young, but he really has a massive appetite for goals. You just see that someone like him can really go out there. 18, 19 years of age, world at his feet. Really impressed at Liga for Lens, and now was it Lorient, and now playing for Sunderland in the Premier League. Saka immediately. You can see as soon as Saka has the ball, 3 Sunderland players swarm him. Regis Lebris definitely knows who the danger man is. Good play this from Sunderland to win the ball back. Here's Noah Sadiki. Enzo Laffi. Back to the centre midfielder. Sadiki picks his head up for the ball in. It's cleared away. Isidore just bumps in. Ooh, that's a foul there by Xhaka. Sore one for Mikel Merino. Xhaka is not happy with the exaggerated reaction there from the Spaniard. Granit Xhaka is known to be no nonsense in the challenge. He will go biting in. And Sadiki's ball has to be a lot better. Absolutely no elevation on it. Now you can understand why Xhaka was not happy with Mikel Merino's reaction there. Yeah, Xhaka is a character, isn't he? He absolutely is. Ken Raya going long. It's meat and drink here for the Sunderland back 3. Ballard, Mukiele and Geertruida will clean that up all night long. Here's Ebreze. Hasn't been at his influential best, especially when looking to be incisive in those decisive moments. Here's Merino. Timber. Saka. And Saka's got 4 players around him. Bukayo Saka turns brilliantly here. It's Bukayo Saka. He's been almost manhandled and gets a shot on target, but doesn't have the venom. Safely into the hands of Robin Roves, who quickly gets the ball away. Oh, that's brilliant from Rice. The way he anticipates that is outstanding. And now Arsenal on the attack. Trossard closed down immediately. Trossard has a second bite of the cherry here. Could have gone for the pass. Instead, goes for a ridiculous shot. Look at Isidore's hold-up play. It's brilliant, but you can see 2 or 3 Arsenal players quickly converging on him. Timber. Bukayo Saka. Timber again. Eza bullied off the ball far too easily. And now Isidore gets away from Zubimendi. That's a professional foul if I've ever seen one. And that will be a yellow card for the Spaniard. Cannot commit fouls like that, especially when you see the striker shaking him away and trying to run forward. Zubimendi is perplexed with the decision. But again, it's Wilson Isidore. He's done the right thing there. He knows the foul is coming. Oh, he's gotten all of the ball there. Zubimendi has every right to be upset with that decision. It's not just not a foul, but he got a yellow card too. So he'll have to walk the tightrope now for about 65 minutes, including stoppage time. Under 10 minutes plus stoppage time remain in this first half. Robin Roves takes the free kick. It's into the Arsenal box here. Bertrand Traore. Granit Xhaka 1-0. It's Ballard. What a goal. Arsenal concede. They get a taste of their own medicine. And it's the centre half who hammers it past Raya. And Sunderland have the lead at the Stadium of Light. Incredible goal. It sat up so nicely for the centre half, who does not need a second invitation. And he gives it the business. Arsenal undone by a set piece. As soon as the ball bounced in the box, you knew that Arsenal could be in trouble. Traore's header is brilliant. This touch from Ballard is brilliant. He brings it right into his own path. And he hammers that past Raya. That first touch is from a centre half. Is out of this world. Look at that from Ballard. No chance for Raya. Arsenal concede their 4th goal of the season. This one really special. Regis Labrie, is he going to get one more major scalp this season? Heading into the international break, if they can get all 3 points here, it's not just improving their start to the season, but the title race will be reborn again. Cracking goal. The game needed a goal, and Dan Ballard does exactly that. And now Arsenal have to respond here. We haven't said that too many times this season. Regis Labrie would have been adamant, absolutely shouting throughout the week that we cannot go down to Arsenal this game. At no point can we be behind, because that's going to be a monumental task. You better go and get that first goal. And they've done that through their centre half. Dan Ballard, that first touch just set it up perfectly. Saliba. Ebreze. Timber. Arsenal looking to respond quickly here. Sunderland quickly back into the defensive shape. Eze. There's Gabriel Magalhaes. Trossard, Calafiori. All the Arsenal players getting involved in the build-up here. Declan Rice. Magalhaes to Saliba. It's a good bit of touch there around the corner there by Ebreze. Gets it back. Fizzing pass there by Saliba. You can see what he was trying to do. Just punch that between the lines for Urian Timber. But that's good defending there from Geertruida. Noah Sadiki trying to cover the spaces tirelessly. Zubimendi. Declan Rice. Here's Gabriel. Saliba. And the Sunderland players just shuffling from side to side here. They've got the deep block in place. Arsenal will have to use the width here. Zubomendi, who's on a yellow card. Here's Gabriel Magalhaes. Ebreze. Drops the shoulder brilliantly there to Saka now. Onto the right hand side. Saka looks to cross on his weaker right foot. Good defending there by Renildo. Throw in for Arsenal. Heading into the final 5 minutes of normal time. There will be considerable amount of stoppages added on. Saka drops the shoulder brilliantly. Goes through the inside. Here's Magalhaes to Calafiori. Zubomendi now. Here's Leandro Trossard. Looks to drop the shoulder again. Cross comes in. It's a low-driven cross. Headed away nicely by the skipper. Granit Xhaka. Safety first approach from the captain. Well, Arsenal have rarely threatened Robin Roves in goal with 40 minutes on the clock. From their point of view, that needs to change before the half-time whistle as Calafiori throws that in. It's cleared away by Sadiki. He's been all over the pitch, hasn't he? That's a clear foul there by Ricardo Calafiori. Clever there from Sunderland, winning the free kick. The goal scorer just uses his presence of mind. Really was a special goal, and almost feel that you need special goals against Arsenal. Look at the way that he just beats Declan Rice, takes that first touch, and the way he just rifled that. The Sunderland fans absolutely ecstatic. Here's Urian Timber. Dan Ballard. Saka. Towards to Trossard. Again, Nodi Mukiele trying to manhandle the Belgian, but Trossard does very well. Oh, lovely challenge there by Hume. That's outstanding from the wing-back. He knew that he might not be favoured to keep the ball, but he throws himself on the ground, wins the ball fairly, and then wins a free kick to boot. Compounding effort there as Arteta will be frustrated with the way this first half has gone against his team. And free kicks in such territory means that they can go long here. As it stands, we're looking at first versus second. Sunderland on 21 points after 11 games. 2 points ahead of City, 3 ahead of Liverpool and Spurs. Spurs already have played that game. Liverpool and City tomorrow. Brilliant. And Manchester United have an opportunity to be second after their game finished, but they couldn't get the job done. Renildo will get the throw in, heading into the final phase of the first half. Arsenal fans might feel that this is a bit of a familiar story. They do really struggle to create from open play, but their set pieces are so good. You almost forget about stats like that. Saka decides to go long. Geertruida does well. Sadiki loses out. Zubomendi. Again with a bit of an aimless pass. Robin Roves has to be careful, and he is extremely composed. But Sunderland cannot afford any schoolboy errors against the league leaders. Here's Dan Ballard. Roves to Geertruida. Sunderland playing with fire here. Looking to play out the back, deciding that they have to go long, and rightfully so. Robin Roves cannot be messing about there in those positions. Two teams in the league have managed to do that. Liverpool, Manchester City and Newcastle all did manage to get ahead of Arsenal, but they also know that that didn't go according to plan. Here's Nodi Mukiele. Zubomendi. Finds Urian Timber. And it's patient from Arsenal as we're heading into the final minute of normal time. Gabriel. Calafiori. Back to Magalhaes. Good touch there by William Saliba onto the right-hand side. Here's Bukayo Saka. Looks to drop the shoulder. Renildo has been on him like a rash all game. Here's Saliba. Shoved pass by Gabriel Magalhaes to Trossard. Again, the pace of Arsenal's attack is pretty slow so far. Looking to cross coming in. It's easily cut out. Trossard has lost control of the ball. And it's a throw-in for Sunderland. It's brilliant from them as we enter added on time here in the first half. Sunderland nearly taking what has been as perfect of a first half as they could have had. But they've got 9 minutes of added on time. Try and contend with 9 minutes of added on time in this first half. Saliba goes all the way back to Raya. Just to punt that forward. Ooh, Renildo's lost out there. Here's Ebreze up against Xhaka. Xhaka with a clear foul. He will pick up a yellow card. Definitely. Yeah, that's so poor from Xhaka. There's no real need to do that because the Sunderland players are there in numbers. So you don't have to do anything foolish. I think Xhaka with the rush of blood to the head. Doing what Xhaka does. Needless foul. And a yellow card for the Sunderland skipper. As soon as he's beaten there, there's no need. Because you can see Renildo's getting back into position. There are 3 centre-halves in front of him. It's a pointless foul and could get compounded here if Arsenal find a way back courtesy of this set piece here. It's Declan Rice to take this free kick. Arsenal have 5 players looking to attack the far post here. As Declan Rice goes towards it. Gabriel's header. As he does the right thing there. Well, the couple of shots for handball have been waved away. Here's Saka. Enzo Laffi helping out defensively. Brilliantly done. That is exactly what Enzo Laffi has done spot on in this match. The way that he's doubled and made sure that Renildo's life is a whole lot easier. Here's Declan Rice. What a delivery that is. Saliba gets his head on it. He hits it with pace and whip. All you need to do is try and guide that on target. Saka's header. Chance! Oh, massive opportunity. Goes begging. It's to the centre-back, Saliba. The ball drops kindly to him. He could have hit that. He hits it far too much with pace. And it's over the crossbar. Arsenal's best chance of the match has fallen to their centre-half. Saka's header right at the penalty spot. Sits up so kindly. All he has to do is try and get this on target. Difficult technique. Try to get over the ball. Well, Mikel Arteta will know that that was a big, big opportunity to get a goal back before the half-time whistle. Sunderland get rid of the ball. Trossard. Eased off the ball there by Nori Mukiele. Doesn't get the yellow card. Quickly escapes the scene. Well, this result is not one that was unfathomable heading into this contest. A lot of the Arsenal fans heading into this game would have been quietly optimistic, but also would have completely understood the dangers of this contest. They're realizing it in real time that there's a chance that they could drop points, but still a lot of football still to be played. Here's Trossard. Keeps it short. Gabriel's ball into the box. Headed away. Good defending again. The way Sunderland have defended their box has been marvellous. Here's Zubimendi. Declan Rice. Gets away from the challenge onto the left-hand side. Here's Leandro Trossard. To drop the shoulder, get away from the challenge. And Trossard doesn't have the pace, but he does have the trickery. Here's William Saliba, who's had Arsenal's best chance in the half. Here's Gabriel Magalhaes. Ricardo Calafiori went for the low fizzing cross. Well defended by Bertrand Traore. Ex-Chelsea boy, of course, has an opportunity to take points of Chelsea's fierce rivals. Well, Sunderland have navigated about 5 minutes of stoppage time. They still have 4 to go. Here's Gabriel Magalhaes. Saliba. Zubimendi. He's had a lot of touches in the match, but his passing has been short and crisp, nothing too expansive. Here's Timber. Saka trying to isolate Renildo. Timber. Eze. Again looks to drop the shoulder. Has to release the ball a whole lot quicker, but has found Timber nicely. Oh, it's outstanding from Ebre Eze. Cut back to Saka. Can't bring that under control. Well, that was special from Ebre Eze. The way that he just glides with the ball. Real moment of quality, but nothing at the end of it. Here's Saliba. Declan Rice. Cross comes in. It was Calafiori who made the run from left back into an attacking midfielder's option, but it's a foul there on Nodi Mukiele, and another situation where Sunderland have managed to do very well. I know a lot of the teams will be rooting for Sunderland. They might be getting exactly what they wanted here, but there's an awful lot of football still to be played. Arteta would have looked at that first half, seen a few positives, but he'll feel that his team need to move the ball a whole lot quicker and need to test Robin Roves. Regis Lebris, on the other hand, must be beaming from within, but with a lot of cautious optimism, because he knows there's another massive 45 minutes coming up, and we have seen Arsenal in the second half, how they grind teams down. Their set pieces, of course, will be a threat till the very end as Mikel Merino loses out. Here's Xhaka to the goal scorer Ballard. Brilliant pass there. Here's Traore. Back to Ballard. Looking very comfortable with the ball at his feet. Here's Guituida. Again, good patterns here from Sunderland. Inviting the Arsenal press. Playing very confident football here. Xhaka. On the left-hand side is Sadiki. The work that Sadiki has put as Granit Xhaka goes towards the far stick. Calafiori has to take preventive measures and he concedes the corner. It's Sunderland who are looking to finish this half stronger here. And if they can get one more before the half-time break, whoa, that would be a massive, massive goal. Arsenal being pressurized here. Well, Sunderland's first corner comes in the 53rd minute. 8 minutes of stoppage time into the first half. Can they make it count here? Xhaka delivers towards the near post. Good header. Very good defending off the front post. Here's Sadiki. Clips that towards the far stake. Enzo Lefi is onside. Lays it off. Mukiele! Oh, it's side netting. That could have been 2-0. He hits that very clean, but he can't get that on target. This is excellent from Sunderland. Enzo Lefi just so clever. Mukiele strikes that well and it's just wide. Regis Lebris knows that that was a massive moment in the match. Arsenal very fortunate that the scoreline is still 1-0. Well, it's been all about the defenders today. Ballard with the goal, Saliba with Arsenal's best chance, and Nodi Mukiele right at the end of the first half could have made it 2-0. Rice, Trossard, here's Gabriel. Last attack surely here for Arsenal before the first half whistle. Saka, Timber. Again, Arsenal going side to side. They won't get time for the attack here as the referee blows the whistle for what has been an outstanding first half for Regis Lebris and Sunderland. Dan Ballard, the decision maker, what a difference he's made with a cracking goal halfway through the first half. Saliba could have scored. He leaned back as he was at the penalty spot with the ball sitting up nicely, and right towards the end, Arsenal really did catch life as Nori Mukiele's strike hit the side netting. Half time at the Stadium of Light. It's Sunderland 1, Arsenal 0. And we're back for the start of the second half. Arsenal have to come from behind at the Stadium of Light up against a Sunderland side that have been very much on it since kickoff. The plan has worked to a T for Regis Lebris's team, but they have 45 minutes against the league leaders to get the job done. They'll be coming out with real fire heading into the second half. Make no mistake about it. We've seen Arsenal before in tough situations where they really have pulled out their A game. Throw in comes in Eze. What a block that is. Magnificent block from Sunderland. Where you can see Arsenal already trying to make themselves as imposed as possible in the forward areas. Here's Declan Rice. Keeps it short. Up against. Yes. Saka, the Arsenal forward line with no joy whatsoever throughout this game. It was Saliba who had the game's best opportunity. Here's Gabriel Magalhaes. Declan Rice. Here he is again. Here's Saliba. Not an accurate pass, but gets Trossard to chase. Here's Gabriel, scoops it onto the right-hand side to Urian Timber. Rice. Driving forward with the ball, but look at Isidore trying to make himself a nuisance there. Here's Trossard, lovely touch away from the French striker. Zubimendi. Saka. Timber, patient this from Arsenal. Again, the have to cut out the space on Saka as quickly as possible before he can deliver, which he does, but far too much on it, out for a goal kick. But from Sunderland's point of view, more of the same in the second half. Regis Lebris would have looked at that first half, smiling from ear to ear with the way that they played. Nodi Mukiele could have made it 2-0 right at the end of the first half. If his effort was on target, would have looked at a different scoreline heading into the second half. Big 45 minutes coming here for Arsenal and the title race here, especially with Liverpool playing Manchester City tomorrow. Good burst on the left-hand side here from Siddiqui. It's Isidore. It's a big block there from Saliba. He had to time that spot on, and it was. Oh, and Saka, his back pass goes all the way back for a corner here. It feels like Arsenal on the ropes. Isidore, brilliant. He's caused Arsenal a lot of problems. Excellent from Isidore. It's a corner now for Sunderland. Dan Ballard, the goal scorer, in the box now, trying to make himself a nuisance. Enzo Lafy. Looking for the right-footed in-swinger here. Lafy delivers. Oh, it's a strange ball, really. Hume will pick that up. Siddiqui goes all the way back to Robin Roves. 4 minutes into the second half. Arsenal looking to make themselves a bit more potent in their attack here. They've taken a chance here. The goalkeeper decides to go back to Xhaka. Oh, what a risk taken there by Geertruida. And now it's Trossard. Could go on the outside, but delays his pass. Still managing to keep the ball here, Leandro Trossard. Oh, Geertruida, what a poor challenge that is. Arsenal decide to play on here. Rice. Zubimendi. Straight down the breadbasket of Robin Roves. Well, Geertruida made such a calamitous error which could have really compounded Sunderland's misery. Instead, Arsenal decide to play on, and Rice's feed into Zubimendi didn't have the venom required to beat Robin Roves. Here's Lafy. Keeps it short. Renildo. Goes back to Geertruida. Xhaka to Dan Ballard. Driving forward with the ball here, the English centre-half. Onto the right-hand side. Here's Traore. 5 minutes into the second half here. The game following a similar pattern to that in the first. Ballard. Scoop pass there for Calafiori. Here's Trossard. Magalhaes. And now Zubimendi. Looking for options. Onto the right-hand side. Here's Bukayo Saka. Oh, beautiful pass there by Zubimendi to Jurrien Timber. Cross comes in. Outstanding defending from Geertruida, and Xhaka clears. Well, Mikel Merino is waiting for the cross. And says the Dutch defender who gets there first. Saka drops the shoulder, gets away from the challenge nicely there. Saka somehow keeps his balance. Referee waves play on. Calafiori. Trossard. Drops the shoulder nicely again. Zubimendi. Saka. This is outstanding football. And he drags his shot wide. Bukayo Saka with Arsenal's clearest opportunity in the second half. Beautifully worked. This is very patient from Arsenal. This pass by Zubimendi to Saka is beautiful. Saka can't find the far post. This is much better football there from Arsenal. Exactly the kind of intricacies needed in the Sunderland box. You see there, Arsenal have had over 100 passes in the final third. But that really is a useless statistic, isn't it, when the scoreline is what it is. Calafiori decides to go back to Raya, who boots it forward with distance and power. Dan Ballard wins the header. Lafie's touch is magnificent. Here's Geertruida, who cannot make the mistake again. Again, Robin Roves looking very comfortable with the ball at his feet. Maybe a little too comfortable for a goalkeeper. Saka. Saliba. Here's Zubimendi. And now Jurrien Timber. Hits that with pace to Saka, brings that under control nicely. It's Timber again. It's straight into the hands, courtesy of a deflection to the goalkeeper. Arsenal continue to be frustrated here. Not getting the clear-cut opportunities required to get back into this contest. Sunderland have just retreated back into their shell here. Need a lot more of an attacking threat. And definitely need that second goal to create a bit of distance away from the league leaders. Lafie, Geertruida. Xhaka goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Again, this is patient from Sunderland. Enzo Lafie under pressure. Rice is there nibbling at his heels. And he might have lost out there. And he does. It's Ebreze, Mikel Merino, Bukayo Saka. It's 1-1. And that all comes from Sunderland overplaying. And Arsenal punish Sunderland with Saka scoring the goal. Well, he could have scored a couple of minutes early on. Enzo Lafie, we saw him do this in the first half, where he gave the ball in a dangerous area. That time they weren't punished. This time, he has to get rid of the ball. He knows Declan Rice is going to tackle him. He doesn't get rid of the ball, and then they're in real trouble. Mikel Merino lays it off to Saka, who finds the near post. Sunderland, a master of their own downfall there as Arsenal, back level. Needless, absolutely needless there from Enzo Lafie. Can't believe what Enzo Lafie is doing there. Why is he trying to turn with two people on his back, especially Declan Rice on his heels? You can see Mikel Arteta celebrating that goal because he knows what a big, big moment that could turn out to be. And we've seen this before where Arsenal gains steam in the second half. This is another example as Declan Rice wins that midfield duel against Enzo Lafie again. I think Enzo Lafie is having one of those games where he's just been bullied. Timber. Well, 10 minutes into the second half. Now all square here at the Stadium of Light. Here's Ricardo Calafiori, Declan Rice, who was instrumental. Good play there. It's Jurrien Timber who could have gone for the shot. He found himself in a lot of space after Leandro Trossard's pass was punched into him. Could he have just taken it on his left foot and gone for the goal? Instead he decided to turn on his right. And by then the chance had gone. Here's Rice. Here's the goal scorer, Saka now. Drops the shoulder, goes around the outside, trying to combine with Timber. Instead, Isidore picks the ball up. He's lost out to Zubamendi. Good play there from the Spaniard. Here's Declan Rice. Zubamendi. Rice again. Trossard, Calafiori on the overlap. That's very good defending there by Sadiki. Gets the foul. Free kick for Sunderland. A massive 40-odd minutes coming up here at the Stadium of Light. Mikel Merino's weight of pass for Saka was just perfect. The first touch gets away from him, puts it on his right foot, and just squeezes it with the most improbable of angles right into the front post. Excellent, cracking finish there from Saka, who scores his third Premier League goal. Yep, David Raya and Gabriel Magalhaes knew exactly what a massive moment in the match that could turn out to be. Here's Merino. Timber. On the right-hand side, it's Saka again. He's got a spring in his step. Timber. Saliba. Rice to Calafiori. This is good possession here for Arsenal. They've dominated proceedings. Sunderland have barely played any football here. What a ball! And that could have very easily been 2-0. That pass from Trossard to Zubamendi is threaded through the eye of the needle. Zubamendi's first time effort just goes wide. And Arsenal inches away from turning it around in a matter of minutes. Well, Trossard played that pass early on to Jurrien Timber. This time, he paid it to Zubamendi. Regis Labrie will be fuming with the way his team have come out here in the second half. They haven't played with the bravery that saw them really navigate that first half so well. Arsenal with 10 attempts. Here's Xhaka. Geertruida to Dan Ballard. As they're putting pressure. Again, forcing errors here. The Arsenal press has been outstanding as Traore gets the throw in. Again, they have to take care of their passing here, Sunderland. They cannot be errant. Have to make sure that they find their targets with as much regularity as possible. Any errant pass and Arsenal will look to really punish you. Here's Magalhaes. Saliba, who had Arsenal's best chance in the first half. That has completely changed in the second. Arsenal creating a lot more now. Good header there by Mukiele, but the second ball falls to Ebreze. Sweeps it onto the right-hand side to the goal scorer Saka. Tries to drop the shoulder and get away from Ranildo. He shielded it well. Referee waves play on. Eze. Calafiori thought about the shot, instead goes to Trossard. On the left-hand side here, Trossard trying to be dynamic with his movements. Goes around the outside. Good defending there from Hume. Trey Hume, the right wing-back for Sunderland, had a pretty comfortable game in the first half. That has completely changed in the second, with Arsenal attacking down that left-hand side with a lot more urgency. Here's Magalhaes. Saliba. Zubamendi. Saliba again. Short, crisp passing here from Arsenal, looking to move up the gears here. Trossard, Rice, driving forward. It's Declan Rice, lays it off. Zubamendi. It's Mikel Merino. Oh, brilliant pass there to Calafiori. He can't get that in a stride though. Has to check his run. Trossard, Rice. Arsenal with pressure outside the Sunderland box here. Clever pass. Calafiori with a bit of pausa. Looks for the chance. Good defending there from Sunderland. Again, Arsenal winning the ball high up the pitch here. Look at the intensity from the Gunners. Moreno. Rice goes for the strike. Lays off nicely. Ebreze. It is straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. Shot on target there for Ebreze. Again, it sits up nicely on his left foot. He goes for power, either side of the goalkeeper. We're probably looking at a different scoreline there. Good chest control on the volley. Not enough pace though. Here's Bertrand Traore for Sunderland. Half an hour remaining of normal time here. Arsenal desperate for all 3 points to keep the pressure on. Geertruida to Sunderland's goal scorer, Dan Ballard. Here's Trey Hume. Traore, back to Hume again. He's not holding the width on the right hand side. Almost playing as a traditional right back. Good pass again. Lovely turn from Traore away from Rice. Isidore. Beautiful couple of touches to get away from the challenges. It's brilliant from Isidore. Here's Sadiki. On the left hand side is Enzo Lafi. He will want to make amends after losing the ball in a critical area. Geertruida. Brilliant. It's Enzo Lafi. It's a big block again. No way through there as outstanding from Gabriel Magalhaes. Here's Geertruida. Better this first time in the second half that we have seen Sunderland with a sustained period of possession. Clip pass into the channel. Raya had come, but Saliba deals with it expertly. Lovely touch there, beautifully done by Mikel Merino. Here's Rice driving forward, finds Trossard, who's a lot more influential in the second half. Here's Trossard again. Beautiful pass and nearly into the stride of Ricardo Calafiori. I think the clearance has been botched there by Sadiki, but he gets a second bite at it, and a triple substitution for Sunderland being readied here. Well, I'm very, very surprised to see Wilson Isidore coming off here. It was a real threat throughout the game, but Robbery seems to be coming on in place of Wilson Isidore. The triple substitution being readied by Regis Lebris. Simona Dingra also being entered into the fray here. Sunderland are not looking to back down here. Bertrand Traore's race has been run too. Enzo Lafi, Isidore and Traore all coming off the front three, replaced by Talbi, Brobbery and Simon Dingra. Talbi, of course, scored that late winner at Stamford Bridge. He'll be full of confidence, knowing that his heroics might be needed again. Brobbery, Adingra and Kempstein Talbi, the three substitutes for Sunderland. You can see that Regis Lebris would have not been happy with the way the second half had panned out. Arsenal completely in control of proceedings, having gotten the equaliser courtesy of Bukayo Saka, looking a lot more threatening to add the second. Rice. Zubamendi. The Chelsea game kicking off in less than an hour to wrap up what has been a super Saturday here, really. Triple header, which started off with Tottenham and Manchester United playing out a 2-2 draw. Declan Rice thought about the shot there. Instead lays it off to Saka onto the right hand side, drops the shoulder, cross comes into the box, punched away, and on the follow-up, Zubamendi hits the crossbar, and Eze on the follow-up. It's a brilliant block. Arsenal within inches of going in front. Zubamendi's technique on this is brilliant. The keeper was just hoping and praying, and his prayers were answered. Timber, Saka. 25 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Arsenal stepping through the gears here. Feels like the second goal is coming. They have been so much better in the second half. The halftime team talk from Mikel Arteta clearly working. Saliba. Bukayo Saka. Again looking for the cross. Again, it's a needless foul there. You cannot be conceding these fouls. It's Renildo on Saka. It's a free kick for Arsenal in prime time territory here. Well, Chelsea and Wolves, well, their starting 11s have been revealed here. Gusto Fofana, Trevor Chalobah and Marc Cucurella with Sanchez in goal. Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez as the two pivot players. The forward line of Garnacho, João Pedro and Pedro Neto with Liam Delap leading the line here against Wolves. No Esteban Willian, which means he's still on the bench. After his goal against Karabakh in that 2-2 draw, Garnacho scored the second. He's been rewarded with a start as well. We've seen this wing pairing against Spurs, where Garnacho and Pedro Neto are the preferred wingers. Free kick for Arsenal as Declan Rice swings this one in. Header chance. Brilliant goalkeeping there. Robin Roves had to be brave. He knew the contact was coming. It was Mikel Merino who just left one in on the goalkeeper. Sunderland players immediately making sure that their goalkeeper is protected there. Merino has not done too much wrong there. He had every right to try and attack that, but Dutch keeper is okay. A massive 20 minutes plus stoppage time left in this match. Regis Lebris has seen his team lose all their steam and momentum in the second half. He's urging for mentality and concentration here, which will be so key heading into the final phase of the match. Robbery brings that down nicely for Sadiki. He's lost out. Under a lot of pressure here is Mukiele. Here's Talbi. Again, the Sunderland front line, full of fresh legs and invigoration to try and cause the Arsenal defenders some sort of trouble. It's been their centre-back who scored the goal, Dan Ballard. As Sunderland prepare this long throw in here courtesy of Nordi Mukiele. Nicholas Jover for Arsenal, the set-piece coach, making sure that he's got all the bases covered as Mukiele flings this ball into the box, cleared away by Calafiori, and Eze does the rest. Here's Talbi, loses out to Mikel Merino, and Gabriel Magalhaes clears. Good header there by Xhaka. Might be a foul there by Ricardo Calafiori. It's right in front of the referee too. Can't get away from that one as Trey Hume fouled in the process. Yep, clear push there by Ricardo Calafiori. Well, Arsenal have come very close on multiple occasions to register their second goal. Zubimendi thundering against the crossbar with that volley. Could have made things very different heading into the final 20 minutes. But we're into the 70th. Scoreline still 1-1. Dan Ballard scored in the first half. Bukayo Saka early in the second. As we're deadlocked here, Sunderland looking to climb up the table here. A point here will be pretty good for them. But Arsenal dropping 2 points would be real encouragement for Manchester City and Liverpool, who play tomorrow. City, of course, before kickoff was 6 points behind the league leaders as Xhaka delivers the ball into the box. Ballard looking for the header. It's cleared away. The foul has been given against the centre half. Saka is forceful in the challenge. Might have been too forceful there on Ronaldo. Foul and a free kick given against England number 7 here. Long ball. Marino's defensive work has been very good, defending set pieces. He's not just a big body, but he does time his leap very well. Here's Marino. Bukayo Saka. Clip forward. Oh, magnificent play. And the header from Zubamendi was nearly perfectly into the path of Ebreze. This is excellent play, this from Zubamendi. He has no right to get the control on the header the way that he did. Nearly did it perfectly there. Ooh, that's a heavy foul there by Brobbery on Martin Zubamendi. The Dutch centre forward will be eager to impress since coming on, replacing Wilson Isidore after Sunderland had conceded that equaliser. Robbie, Talby and Adingra looking to make themselves a nuisance here for the Arsenal backline. Arsenal far ahead in terms of attempts in the second half. 8-2 in favour of the Gunners. Here's Rice. Timber. Arsenal just find a way to win football matches, and they have been experts of doing so. Again, Ronaldo trying to be touch tight. It's a needless foul again. He cannot be arguing here. He has to get away from this as quickly as possible. It's been multiple fouls on Bukayo Saka. Again, Saka rolls him with such ease. I cannot believe that he has a complaint after dragging him down by his shorts. Ronaldo with a yellow card. Now has to walk the tightrope alongside his captain, Granit Xhaka, who picked up the yellow in the first half. Another set-piece situation. That's the problem here for Sunderland. They cannot give away needless free kicks from time to time. Will be Declan Rice to deliver. Declan Rice with the whip forward. It's cleared away. Eze, edge of the box to Zubamendi. Clip pass to Timber. Lays it off. Xhaka gets his header first. And Adingra should be able to clear here. He's made a real mess of that one. Saka wins the ball back brilliantly here. Drops the shoulder. Rice finds Zubamendi, the metronome in the Arsenal midfield. Here's Trossard. And he's got the support of Calafiori. Space opens up for Trossard to find the top corner in spectacular fashion. Oh, what a goal that is from the Belgian. And Arsenal do complete the turnaround. Well, Leandro Trossard could have had a couple of assists in this match. Instead, the Sunderland players back off and he rifles that, finds the top corner in expert fashion. And Arsenal, as it stands, extend their lead to the top of the table to 9 points. That is a special goal. Arsenal keeping the pressure. It just felt like the goal is coming. Sunderland have been too passive. Look at this. Once he beats him here, nobody closes him down. That is ridiculous from Trossard. Absolutely ridiculous. The ball striking on that is special. And it just feels like the goal of the eventual champions. Leandro Trossard takes the net off, and Arsenal 15 minutes plus stoppage time away from going 9 points clear. Gabriel Heinze and Mikel Arteta celebrate. They know that's a massive, massive goal. And Trossard, who was rewarded with a pay rise in the summer, scoring yet another crucial goal for the Gunners. Again, Ballard fighting with Eze. He gets the free kick in his favour. Well, Zubimendi nearly scored a special goal. It was the crossbar that denied Arsenal, but nothing was going to stop that Leandro Trossard fizzer. Top corner stuff. That's what it's all about. Well, Robin Rose might have done better for the first goal where Bukayo Saka just snuck it through the first post, but he was absolutely powerless for that Leandro Trossard thunderstrike. This is Arsenal territory, isn't it? Once they take the lead, they go back into their defensive shape, but they'll be looking for the third here just to make sure that they have an insurance. Gabriel Magalhaes. If Arsenal score another, that's a cue for me to end the stream and prepare for Chelsea against Wolves. But if Sunderland can find another one, could have a grandstand ending to this contest here at the Stadium of Light. Arsenal, as it stands, 9 points clear. Incredible. Zubimendi. William Saliba. And it's pretty patient from them. Rice. Saliba again. The new look front three for Sunderland have barely gotten involved in this match as Calafiori's errant pass is a throw in for Sunderland. Well, Mikel Arteta has been animated on the touchline throughout the match. He knows that his team are very close from making a statement. And Robbie has been bundled over. So is Trey Hume rather. Needless foul there by Ricardo Calafiori on the Republic of Ireland wingback. It was good play there from Robbie. Calafiori just throws Hume to the deck there. Free kick for Sunderland. Opportunity to put the ball into the box here. They've been completely nullified in the second half. Arsenal just showing levels to their game here. Looks like it won't be a happy game for Granit Xhaka against his former side. Playing them for the first time since leaving the club for Bayer Leverkusen. As Hume delivers. Headed away by Mikel Merino. Adingra takes a touch which is away from him. Somehow tries to keep that in play. Timber is very strong. So throw in for Sunderland. Nodi Mukiele is very much on hand here for the throw in. Good position here for Sunderland to try and ask questions of the Arsenal defence. Mukiele's ball in. Ballard wins the first header and Brobbey from close distance. Oh, what a save by Raya to keep it at 2-1. David Raya with a massive save. Well, Ballard wins the first header. It might have come off his arm. He gets a couple of grabs on it, Raya. Quickly adjusts his feet. Make himself as big as possible for a tremendous save. It might have struck the arm of Dan Ballard. And Brobbey was clearly offside. Well, Sunderland getting close. That might be the way to get themselves back in this contest. Set pieces. Try and use what Arsenal use against their oppositions against them. We're into the 80th minute here. Arsenal nearly getting the job done here. A lot of people might be saying it's just Sunderland, but if they manage to win this game, on the weekend that Liverpool and City have to play against each other, where drop points are of certainty. It just could take them one step forward to ending their 21-year drought for the Premier League title. Well, 10 minutes plus stoppage time remain here as medical treatment being administered here for the Sunderland player who's on the deck. You'll have an opportunity to have a look at the goals that were scored. Dan Ballard scored an absolutely cracking goal to start this contest off. The equaliser for Sunderland was so much disappointment as Enzo Laffi takes too much of a chance, gets dispossessed. Mikel Merino slid the ball perfectly to Bukayo Saka, who found the near post. Arsenal came close on a couple of occasions. Saka, Zubomendi, all coming within inches to get Arsenal the second goal. Zubomendi struck the crossbar himself, but when it was Leandro Trossard's time to find the top corner in a clutch moment for Arsenal, that's exactly what they did, as the travelling fans who have made that long journey from London to the north are about 10 minutes away from leaving the stadium in absolute elation. Mukiele is still on the deck here. We're going to have a look whether or not he can continue. Now you can see the experience of Arsenal players here, urging for calm and support. What a strike that was from Trossard, man. Absolute roofer. Net breaking. Soon as it left his boot, you just knew that it was real trouble for Sunderland. Zubomendi all coming within inches. Well, Mukiele being administered should be okay to continue. Again, there was absolutely no panic from Mikel Arteta, keeping the same team that they did the entirety of the first half. No changes being made. And this team getting the job done so far, but they still have to navigate the final phase of the match. Eze to Bukayo Saka to Urian Timber. Arsenal now looking to exercise control of this match. They keep the ball here. They'll be heading into the international break on the back of yet another victory. This time no clean sheet, but an opportunity once again to extend their lead at the top. Rice. He's continuously driven his team forward. Rice again. Zubomendi. Rice dawdling on the ball there. Mukiele quickly on scene. Here's Granit Xhaka. He picks his head up for Brobbey, who's made the run brilliantly there, the Dutchman. Brobbey does very well. Waits for support. Here's Siddiqui. Talbi gets away from a couple of challenges. Here's Geertruida. And finally a bit of possession here for Sunderland, which has been sorely lacking in the second half. Renildo to Hume, wing back to wing back. Central position here for Trey Hume. To Dan Ballard now. Mukiele's ball is cut out by Rice. Here's Hume again. Immediately looks up for options. What a touch! And an opportunity for Brobbey. And another magnificent save. Well, David Raya's positioning and his sense of angles is really special, man. The way he quickly closed down the space. It was Renildo who made the run. Brilliant pick out. It's the first time Sunderland commit its bodies forward. It's Brobbey who makes the decoy run. And you can see Renildo here just looking to cushion that for Brobbey. Outstanding from Raya. Good pick out there from Hume. But Brobbey on a couple of occasions could have found the bottom corner. Instead it is David Raya who's kept things as status quo here for Arsenal. Nearly 5 minutes plus stoppage time away here, Arsenal, from getting the job done. Again, these are wins. These are performances of potential champions. Arteta knows that this is the season They're not going to get a better opportunity. That's for sure. Liverpool have fallen off a cliff, but they've suddenly started to recover. Pep Guardiola will always be a threat. That's why tomorrow's game is going to be so massive. Trossard, brilliant to Marino. Again, with all the injuries that Arteta and Arsenal have had to contend with, they still managed to win the matches. Brilliant from Timber there, away from Simon Adingra. Ronaldo gets the better of Saka. Tweeder has taken a bit of a chance, gets away from a sticky situation. Here's Granit Xhaka. Hasn't been at his influential best, but there is still time. Nice pass between the lines though, on the left-hand side. Sunderland looking to attack. They've committed bodies in the box here. They need the cross to come in though. It doesn't, as Sadiki forced to go back. Here's Ronaldo. Keeps it short. Here's Talbi with the cross into the box. Low stooping header by Saliba's perfect into the feet of Ebreze. Gives the ball away though, Eze. Xhaka. On the left-hand side, Simon Adingra. Looking to go up against Timber. Adingra, cross comes into the box. Good header again from Saliba. He has been imperious at the back. Him and Gabriel Magalhaes have given very little away since conceding that goal. Sunderland running out of time though. Change being made by both teams. Christian Mosquera is coming on for Arsenal to shore up what looks like massive 3 points as Tweeder comes to off the bench as Mayenda will take his place. Ebreze seems to have run his race as the number 10 comes off and Christian Mosquera will take his place. Arsenal going with the back 5 with 3 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Christian Mosquera, who stepped in admirably in the absence of William Saliba early on in the season. Since then he's found it difficult to get game time in the league. Still does play a lot in the Champions League. Well, number 10 comes off. And the man that Arsenal purchased for £10 million in the summer from Valencia, Christian Mosquera, coming on for 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time. Back 5 now for Arsenal. And it's a throw in for Sunderland. Mukiele will take this throw. Sunderland have made 4 substitutes. Ball comes into the box. Arsenal win the first header brilliantly. Oh, what a pass that is by Trossard to Saka. He's got Rice ahead of him. Rice shields the ball well against Mukiele and finds Bukayo Saka. Sunderland bodies quickly back there. Saka brilliant. Oh, what a challenge that is. Granit Xhaka times that to perfection against his former teammate. Here's Dan Ballard. Time running out for Sunderland for that equaliser. Last 5 minutes, Sunderland have dominated possession. Arsenal with the back 5 now. Happy to be in their deep block and thwart any of the Sunderland attacks. Mukiele. Xhaka. Granit Xhaka. Pass to Adingra. Fresh legs against Timber, but decides against taking him on. Keeps it short to Adingra again. Here's Dan Ballard. Mukiele. Final minute of normal time here. Arsenal nearly home and dry for what would be massive 3 points to their cause. Roves goes for distance. Well, after Dan Ballard scored in the first half, it felt that maybe, just maybe, this would be the game where Arsenal would drop crucial points. But the way that they have shown their experience and class has been superb as Declan Rice goes for goal. Well, he was in the opposition half. He saw the keeper well off his line and decides to try and go for this spectacular one. Is he at his own half? He was, you know. Hits that like a pitching wedge. It's cleared away quite comfortably. Saka battling well against Ronaldo. It's been some contest here between the two. It's a foul there by Saka. We're into stoppage time now. 7 minutes of stoppage time signalled by the fourth official. That's a lot of time added on. Sunderland will be looking for one more opportunity for the end of the match. Clip ball towards the fast take. Mosquera is there. Mukiele was trying to win his header, but Mosquera does exactly what he was brought on to do there. Just make sure that adds another solid presence in the box. Well, Regis Labrie would have looked at this performance, the first half, with a lot of pride, but the second, he would be the first one to identify that they were totally outclassed from minute 45 to minute 90. Had a couple of half chances which David Raya saved very well, but other than that, it's been all Arsenal. Raya boots that forward. 1 minute of stoppage time immediately dissolves away here. It's a foul there. Arsenal will take that free kick. They will take their time. Christian Mosquera is already in the thick of things. He's made his presence known as Gabriel Heinze and Mikel Arteta are plotting the last 5 minutes here. They're nearly hope and dry. The travelling fans who have made that long journey to the Stadium of Light in the north of England, well, they are going to have the happiest trip back if Arsenal can hold on till the end. Here's Robin Rose. Declan Rice pinches that forward, and if Trossard's touch was better, Arsenal were closer to adding the third. Here's Trey Hume. Good pass there for Calby. Here's Granit Xhaka. Space has opened up here for Sunderland. On the left-hand side is Adingra. Immediately crosses it in. Towards the fast take was Hume waiting. Rice is there first, as he has been for so many of the loose balls. Here's Calby. Calby on his left foot here. Scored that late goal at Stamford Bridge, which gave Sunderland all 3 points. A late goal here will just salvage one. It will be something for Sunderland to take back though. Well, when Manchester United scored in the early kickoff, they were second in the league temporarily. And after that draw, they went back to 8th. Sunderland, when they scored, they were second. And now they'll have to contend with a lower spot as Arsenal look to close this game out here. Ronaldo's ball into the box, headed away by Declan Rice. Arsenal are just too powerful and too physical for the oppositions. The profile of players that they've accumulated over the years has been perfect for the way that Arteta likes his team to play. Here's Trey Hume. Ball into the box towards the front. Brobbey! And Sunderland do have the equalizer. It's the late show. The Dutchman who comes off the bench seems to have taken a point and taken 2 away from Arsenal. It was a ball just floated into the box with a bit of hope and expectation. Well, Brobbey does so well to adjust himself and get that on target. The Arsenal fans are convinced that that goal shouldn't stand, but it is Brobbey who has scored the late goal. This was brilliant from Adingra. He immediately decided that he needs to put the ball in quickly here. That header back. Oh, it's brilliant from Brobbey. You can see Gabriel is holding his shirt. He does not have a case. That is a perfectly legitimate goal for Sunderland. And Manchester City and Liverpool will be looking at this goal and really be cheering this on. Regis Labrie got all 3 points at Stamford Bridge, and he seems to have taken 2 away from Arsenal here at the Stadium of Light. Mikel Arteta knows that could be a huge goal that has gone against his team. Brian Brobbey with a superb goal. Well, Arsenal don't concede many. Today, they concede 2, which means Sunderland might escape with a point. Well, it's been the late show today. Declan Rice scored in the Matthias de Ligt scored in the 96th minute at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and Brian Brobby scores in the 93rd minute here at the Stadium of Light. Well, Arsenal have taken off one attacker for a defender, and they've got about 90 seconds of stoppage time, and a few more might be added on, but time really is running out for the Gunners. They have to throw the kitchen sink right here, right now. Good header away for Sunderland. Well, they might have not merited the point on their second half performance, but they could have taken a lot of encouragement from the first. They tapped into something a lot more primal, a lot more deeper, and they get a point by the looks of it. Still, the danger is not averted here. Christian Mosquera, Leandro Trossard, thought about the cross. Zubamendi, Saliba, final minute of stoppage time. A few might be added on as Saka delivers. Scalafiori, what a save! And Marino's effort is blocked. Its body's on the line for Sunderland. Dan Ballard, a hero for that block. Calafiori's header was on target. Robin Rose makes himself as big as possible, and Marino was looking to lash home from close range. And Dan Ballard with a heroic block. It could have been Arsenal stealing all 3 points right at the end. Instead, it's a corner. What an end to the match this is. It looked like Arsenal are just going to stroll away with all 3 points. Instead, Sunderland have got the equaliser, and Arsenal have come very, very close to nicking it on later on. Saka to deliver this one in. Corner by Saka. Keeper stays at home. Trossard, it's cleared away. 97 minutes on the clock here. Declan Rice has lost that duel. Anywhere will do for the Englishman. Sunderland win that header brilliantly. Rice happy to get that away. Sunderland just might escape with a point here. Granit Xhaka is all smiles. That is a damaging 2 points drop for Arsenal potentially. They could have been 9 points clear at the top. Instead, that lead has now been cut down to 7, with Manchester City taking on Liverpool tomorrow. The referee has had a look at his watch. It's a foul given for Arsenal. We're well past the 97 minutes. We're into the 98th now. Dan Ballard has put in a heroic shift. Saka against Renildo. Good play there from Renildo. Adingra. Referee has had a look at his watch. That's cleared away by Renildo. 1 minute of time has been added on. This is bonus hours here for Arsenal. They have to pump this ball forward. Here's Declan Rice. Surely now last chance for Arsenal. Rice delivers. Oh, the header has been comfortably gathered by Robin Rose. That just might be that. It's punted forward. The referee has a look at his watch and blows the full-time whistle here at the Stadium of Light. Arsenal were minutes away from going 9 points clear at the top of the table, but it's Brian Brobby who came off the bench with the late show to give Sunderland a valuable point at home against the league leaders Arsenal. Dan Ballard opened the scoring. Saka scored early in the second half. Leandro Trossard with an absolute pile driver to give Arsenal the lead, but Brian Brobby in stoppage time nicks a point, and the spoils have to be shared here at the Stadium of Light. Full time here. It's Sunderland 1, Arsenal 1. It's Sunderland 2,